All right, so x minus 4y equals 13, negative x plus 4y equals negative 16. Is that set up really nice for elimination? Yes, so when I add straight down, what's x minus x going to do to each other? What's negative 4y plus 4y going to do to each other? And 13 minus 16 is negative 3. If I add 0 to 0, I still add 0. Could 0 ever be equal to negative 3? No. So when you have two different constants, when you're done with the process, you have yourself no solution. You have yourself no solution. Make sense? Everybody good? So when you go through it and you have two different numbers, all right, you know you have no solution. Now, for the one on the right, if I add negative 6x to 6x, what do they once again do to each other? Cancel out. Negative 7y plus 7y, what do they do to each other? And negative 4 plus 4 does what? Cancels. They're the same exact equation. As a result, is 0 always going to be equal to 0? Yes. Therefore, instead of no solutions, that has infinite solutions. Fantastic. So good with the special cases? All good? So if you have 0 equal to 0, you have infinite solutions. If you have 0 equal to a number, you have no solutions. Now, you will have one of these on Friday's quiz. Oh, let me double check. Hold on. Let me make sure. I don't want to lie. So I got to look here and say Systems of Equations quiz. All two word problems. Okay, there's two that have, so we'll cut that down to one. We're going to cut that down to one. So there'll be 3 variable ones. What? That's a long quiz. 10 of them, 2 word problems, and then 2. That's a lot. Okay. So, instead of 2 variables, you got 3. But instead of 2 equations, you have 3. As long as the number of equations is equal to the number of variables, you are good. So, look at all 3 equations to determine the easiest variable to cancel. Alright? So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the R's. Then I'm looking at the S's. Then I'm looking at the T's. And I'm telling you the S's are the easiest ones to cancel. Because it's very easy to find one that goes into the other. In other words, 2, 4, and 5, are they all difficult numbers? So in other words, 2 goes into 4, however, does 2 go into 5? No. The T's, are these opposites of each other? Yeah, so that would be pretty straightforward, but 3 and 4. So this is what I mean by that. So I'm going to take negative 5r plus s minus 3t, set that equal to 11. And then I'm going to take negative 4r plus 4s plus 4t and set that equal to negative 4. And all I'm going to do is focus on the s's. See how that's a positive 4? That tells me I want to turn this into what type of 4 in front of the s? This one's positive, so I want that one to be negative. So I'm going to multiply the whole top equation by negative 4.
So why would you choose the 2 equations in the bottom? Because the t would cancel out.
Because then how are you going to cancel out the t in the other one?
I don't know.
Because you got to cancel out 2. You got to cancel out what? You can. If that's how you perceive it, Gavin, go ahead. So in other words, if you did that, you would cancel out the t's. Yeah. All right, and then you'd have to figure out one of these with the 3, which means you have to multiply one by 3 and the other one by 4. Yeah. That's completely up to you. I understand why you would do it. We're going to go through all these. All right, but that's the idea. So now I have 20r minus 4s plus 12t equals negative 44. And I have negative 4r plus 4s plus 4t equals negative 4. What is the negative 4s and the positive 4s going to do to each other? Cancel out. Now I got 16r plus 16t equals negative 48. Good? Okay. Now, something we didn't talk about yesterday. Is there a number that goes into all three of those? 4, 8, double 8. 16 goes in all of them. You do not have to do it, but if you want, you can divide everything by what? You are allowed to do that. That is up to you. So that's going to give me R plus T equals -3. The advantage is my numbers get smaller. That's completely up to you. All right. So now, for that one, I use the first and the second. So now for the next one, I'm going to use the first and the third. So I'm going to do -5R plus S minus 3T equals 11. And I'm going to use 2R plus 2S minus 4T equals 6.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So if you want, so in the first one, it's 5R plus S. Saying you have 2S in the bottom one, can you divide out the 2 from that to make it
So you're talking about this one?
cancel out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then the S's are going to cancel out. Absolutely.
Make your bottom like a -2.
Does everybody see what he's talking about? So the thing we just did with the 16, can we do that with the 2's if we want for this? So that's going to give me then R plus S minus 2T equals 6, and -5R plus S minus 3T equals 11. And we're going to practice more of these. There's no homework tonight. We're just going to practice ones in the back.
Wouldn't you use the 3 for R plus S minus 2T equals 3? What would that say?
Oh, when we're dividing by the 2. Yep. So that's the 3. Absolutely. Now I got an S and an X. Simply in one of the equations, what do you got to do with all your signs? Negate them. So I'm going to change this to a -R. I'm going to change that to a -S. I'm going to change that to a positive 2T. And I'm going to change that to a -3. And now I'm going to add straight down. -6R. Everybody good with that? What's the -S plus S going to do to each other? Cancel out. 2 minus 3 is -1. So -T equals 8. Okay? If you do it correctly, the 2 variables there and the 2 variables there should be what? Exactly the same. I'm just going to bring that one up now. -6R minus T equals 8. And I'm going to add straight down. 1 minus 6 is what? -5. The positive T and the negative T are going to do what to each other? Cancel out. 8 minus 3 is 5. How do I get rid of a multiplication by -5? And I get R is -1. And I get R is -1.